Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final third. And today we're going to be reviewing the first match week of the season 26-27. It's finished, it's over, and I cannot lie, it's been one of the more interesting
First weeks.
first weeks of the season in a long time. Definitely more interesting than last season. A lot of shock results, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
So we'll jump straight into it. But before we do, we're just going to mention what's going to happen. Obviously, we're going to review all the Premier League games, and then we'll be talking about some of the Championship ones, obviously including West Ham.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm still wearing the Man City kit. There's only about 2 episodes, maybe 3,
left.
before I burn it on live. So yeah.
Anyway,
so let's jump straight into it. The first game of the Premier League season was Arsenal versus Coventry, the Premier League champions versus the Championship champions, and it ended the way we all expected, a comfortable 3-0 win for Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, Arsenal just looking like they've gone up another level, if I'm being honest. Just look more comfortable than they did maybe at the end of the last season. Like we said, last season, there's a lot of set pieces. In this game, they seem to like much better in terms of open play. Didn't actually rely on set pieces in this game. Scored all 3 goals from open play. So that's a change for Arsenal, if I'm being honest. But it's for the rest of the Premier League, dangerous. That's what I'll say. Gotta look out for Arsenal. It looks like Arsenal could become back-to-back champions, if I'm being honest.
Retain the league, yeah.
They're the only team I'd say that look just as good, if not maybe better, than they did last season.
Agreed.
Out of the big teams.
100%. Anyway. But to give a little word for Coventry, don't be worried about losing to Arsenal in your first game of the season. They are the Premier League champions. They're playing with a lot of confidence. They look very, very good. And it's not the end of the world, the fact that you even lost 3-0. I've seen teams go to the Emirates and lose 5 or 6-0. So you did a decent job, I would say.
Yeah.
But let's go on to another promoted side. They played my club, Manchester United. Hull City mauled Manchester United.
By the Tigers.
Yep, mauled by the Tigers. All right.
That's all right.
We're coming to your club later. Don't worry. Okay. We are coming to your club later. Don't take the piss, mate. But yeah, Hull City did beat us 2-0. 17-38. That's the times they scored the goals. But listen, the performance from Hull City was, kind of what I expected, but they outdid themselves because they come into the league and they are already seen as the team that is going to go straight back down, right?
Yep.
But the set pieces that they scored obviously comes from mistakes from Man United. But to put those goals in the back of the net are very, very important, They were the first ones to get to the ball. There shows a passion. There shows a grit. There shows a commitment for the club. And they worked really, really hard. That first goal, Lemens makes a good save, pushes it onto the post. First person there was a Hull City player, puts it in the back of the net. Second goal, great header from Mendy. And they deservedly won 2-0 or went 2-0 up. And then in the second half, they held their own. They were solid defensively. Didn't give Man United a sniff.
I think what Hull has done here, and it could be looked as a bit of a tactical masterclass by the manager. They might have looked back at old games last season and noticed that Man United do struggle.
That's actually what he said. That's what he said in his post.
There you go. He's just a tactical genius. And to be honest, whether he's a tactical genius or whether this is just a lot of managers catching on to this thing about Man United not being able to break down a low block, it's one thing. Now, this is obviously something Man United need to sort out ASAP. Otherwise, they're going to struggle a lot because a lot of teams are probably going to play this kind of football against them. And if they can't, find a way around it, then they're going to be in big trouble this season. Hull did exactly what they had to do, played a low block, relied on set pieces to win the game. And they did, because that's something Man United struggled to do against. I mean, we had the game last season against Everton. They were one man down and they still managed to beat you guys.
Can I say one thing about that?
Yeah.
You are mentioning minimal amount of games, right? Last season, I agree, under Ruben Amorim, we were very bad at breaking down teams, right?
Okay.
Second, we got Michael Carrick in. We seemed like a bit of a different team. Maybe we weren't the best of scoring all our chances, but generally, I thought we played quite well under Michael Carrick in terms of maybe we weren't the most pleasing on the eye, but we were making chances and scoring goals.
Yeah.
We had players that were doing that. We look rusty as a whole squad. Not one player in the team played well, except for probably Sané Lamans, who, made some good saves. And obviously none of the goals were on him, I would say.
Maguire as well. He was probably.
You know what? He did play well going forward, but then I saw the first goal and how much of a mistake he made. That is a big mistake from him, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Obviously, one mistake isn't going to define you as a player. He's been very solid for the last couple of years for us. People talking about Yuri Tillemans. He just doesn't look on it. People calling him fat. That's not fair.
That's just his build.
His build has always been like that.
It's always like a bit.
Do you know what I mean? But once you join Man United, you get extreme levels of criticism, and obviously it's just amplified.
Like, Tillemans is already, seeing that effect.
Yeah, well, that's it. You join Man United, you gotta expect the criticism, and that's it. You know what I mean? You join the club, you gotta expect that criticism.
Yeah.
But the midfield looked terrible, if I'm honest with you. I don't know whether it's an issue of it not working or them just not being fully fit, not prepared. I mean, Andre Santos had a full preseason. So I'm quite surprised he didn't perform as well as I thought. Tillemans maybe coming back from the World Cup, give him a bit of benefit of the doubt. He did have an injury as well.
Yeah.
So I'd give him a bit of benefit of the doubt there. But, the fullbacks, they didn't do too bad. But we just, we put... Listen, the most important thing, right, is in that first half, we put so many crosses into the box.
Yeah.
But we had no centre forward.
Yeah.
Mateus Cunha was supposed to be our striker, right? But he didn't go inside the box. That's not what he is. He's an attacking midfielder / winger, right? I do not understand how we did not play either Joshua Zirkzee or Benjamin Sesko in this game. Because with the amount of crosses, I'm pretty sure this is the most crosses we put under Michael Carrick in a game, right? And we had no striker. If you looked at the formation, how it looked like just before the first half ended, it was our highest players were Dorgu and Mbeumo on the wings, and then it was just like this. It was like a U shape around their box.
Yeah.
So basically, whenever the crosses were put in, there was nobody in the box.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is basically what
yeah,
it shows, and it's a complete disgrace the fact that we're playing that kind of football. But then when Benjamin Sesko comes on, we don't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just an error from the manager, to be honest.
And that's what I'm saying. And I'm not going to be so, I'm not going to dig into him completely. But he did make mistakes, and he needs to learn for the second half, for the next game. It's against Ipswich. They're a team who just come off the back of a win, who we'll mention in a second.
Yeah, another promoted side.
He really needs to sort it out. Pick the right team. Carlos Baliba won't be available for this game. He hasn't even been fully confirmed as of we are recording this. But he will be a Manchester United player. It's good to have him in. We need legs in that midfield because Santos and Tillemans don't look like they have any legs.
Yep.
And I also hear people say about Bruno Fernandes. I will never take... Once people start talking about Bruno Fernandes in a bad way, one ear comes out the other. And 100%. I don't want to hear any criticism of Bruno Fernandes. But yeah, that's it on my side, I would say. And I don't think we should mention anything else about this game. Otherwise, I'll just start getting really stressed out. Unless you want to mention something?
Nah, that's about it, really, isn't it?
Covered.
Pretty much covered.
Palmer did his thing today. We'll mention that in a second, mate. Tika? Okay.
Next.
Everton versus Crystal Palace. Everton win 2-0. I don't know if we should go too deep into this game. It's a very good win for them at home.
Yeah.
Dewsbury Hall and Barry scoring. So very good for them. But I think a lot of people thought that Crystal Palace would fall off a little bit because of Glasner leaving.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's just what the case is,
Yeah.
Just a bit of a fall off and no surprise there.
Yeah. Well, let's go on to the next game. We don't want to go too much into it because I think that could be seen as a sort of predicted result. Ipswich actually beat Sunderland. That's one we can maybe mention a little bit more. Fair play to Ipswich, getting a last-minute winner to win the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's should Sunderland be worried?
I don't know. It's again, like it's first week. A lot of teams seem rusty. Not just Man United. A lot of teams look rusty. So maybe it is just a bit of that. Ipswich, like you say, fair play to them. Promoted side. What a massive win for them, especially because it is the first game of the season. It's a massive statement. It's a massive confidence booster. But it's hard to look really deep into this because you genuinely, like, next week Sunderland might win massively and Ipswich might get bad. It's just like one of them. You can't say too much based off the first week.
Exactly.
Because a lot of teams are rusty. So that's all I'm gonna say.
100%. I've seen Man United. You know what? A lot of the times with Man United, I'm going back to Man United, but it's obviously the team I watch the most. Man United, they lose their first game of the season before have a great season, And sometimes when they win the first game of the season, they don't have a good season. So the first game doesn't define you. It just is how you react to that first game and what you do after it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of teams just see what, that's when they realize what their problems are, in the first game of the season.
Let's go on to Oliver Glasner's actual team now, Forest. And they lost, actually, so it doesn't really matter. He would have lost with either team. The Leeds beat them 1-0 with a late free kick, and Statch gaining a habit of scoring free kicks. Obviously, he brought that along from last season. So, yeah.
I mean,
big win for Leeds.
Yeah, good. And for Daniel Farke keeping it up.
Yeah, Daniel Farke. Anyway, let's go on to the next game. And this was another one we should mention. Brentford versus Spurs. Brentford 3-0 against Spurs. What can we say? You know what? Before we get into Tottenham, and we're going to dismantle them, deservedly so. Brentford.
Sorry. No, do that again.
Don't do that.
Anyway, carry on.
Brentford absolutely smashed it, and they continue to play well under Keith Andrews.
Yeah. I mean, like, Brentford are a great team. One of the best run teams in the Premier League, alongside Brighton, who obviously also got a massive win, which we'll talk about later. I think, do you know what it is? Just the way they run, the way they set up, it's just what you want in a football team. Like I said, a lot of clubs do look rusty. It seems to be the teams that were probably, like, for example, you had Sunderland, Spurs, some of the big teams, some of the teams in Europe as well. Obviously, Spurs aren't, but I think Spurs, because first of all, I know we're going on the Brentford side of things first, but I just want to quickly say Spurs did have about what it seemed like 13 players out of the squad. Mm-hmm. Maybe that was the biggest factor of why this happened, but let's not disrespect Brentford, man. They've been a great team for the last God knows how many seasons now. Last season, we were worried that there could be a massive drop-off because they lost the manager. Keith Andrews comes in, does a just as good job, maybe if not better. And they are a team that they play like a unit, a family. Everyone fights for each other in that team every season, no matter who goes in and who comes out. It's always still the chemistry is 100 out of 100, and I think that is more important sometimes than the quality in a team. It's all good and well that you have like some of the best players, but if there's no chemistry, it doesn't matter. And I think because Spurs are having to try and adjust to the new players they have, the chemistry's still not there yet. Whereas Brentford, it is.
Yeah, it's been built. There's a lot of new signings for Spurs, and obviously even more being added on. So we'll see what they do with these new signings. Obviously, you say there's a lot of injuries for Spurs too, so we'll have to see what happens when they come back. You've got Savinho and Mamouche to join, potentially Cody Gakpo, potentially more signings as well. Spurs with a very busy transfer window, and they really did need it, and they look like they need even more reinforcements too. So let's see what happens with these new signings. Let's see what happens when the whole team is together and they start to embed. I think Spurs can still have a good season. Again, first game of season doesn't define you, but there are worrying signs, and I think De Zerbi needs to look at that very, very quickly before it potentially grows into a big problem.
Yeah.
Let's go on to probably the shock result of the weekend. The shock result, I would say. Brighton smashing Aston Villa 4-0. Before you get into it, there is one man I want to mention, not for a good reason, but I do kind of want to defend him. Joao Gomez with an absolute stinker. I'm sure he'll admit it. I'm sure the coach will admit it. I'm sure everyone in the world would admit he had a bad game. I'm sure him, most of all, would admit it. I do kind of feel bad for the guy to get thrown into the deep end where your teammates aren't playing well.
Yeah.
And you're being thrown under the cosh. You're playing against a very good Brighton side, and obviously a lot of pressure's on you to replace the likes of Tielemans. Konza was gone as well. Watkins obviously looks going out the door. Martinez, loads of players leaving, and he has to come in and replace that. And obviously, it's not a good start to his Aston Villa career. So, I hope it doesn't affect him, because sometimes performances like this affect people mentally.
Yeah.
So I hope. Again, it's only football. I don't know why I'm making this so deep, but
No,
I do feel for him. But it was a stinker of a performance, and he's one of the main reasons why it was 4-0.
This is probably going to be Unai Emery's biggest challenge yet as Aston Villa manager, because all the players that have left seem like they're going to leave. And it's crazy because this is all off the back of winning the Europa League. Yeah. They've won the Europa League, and somehow their squad is...
And they qualified fourth For the Champions League and the league
anyway. So the fact with all those factors, and they've lost all their great players and not replaced them well enough, this is not only going to be the biggest challenge, but it could be a massive drop off in Villa, and it's worrying because if they cannot, and look again, it's only the first game of the season. It's very worrying though because there's you can lose 2-3, but 4-0, especially in the first half. It's very worrying. But if I would trust anyone to be able to figure it out, it is Unai Emery. Okay, but again, it's his biggest challenge yet this season. We'll have to see, can he handle it?
You say, massive challenge. They need more signings from now because again, there's still a week left of the transfer window. You need to invest where you can.
Yeah,
especially in obviously the positions that they lost out in. So they need to really invest. I hear they're interested in Joshua Zirkzee, Manchester United. I think that could be an interesting signing if he links up. I think he's a very good link-up player. Let's see if he can perform if he joins Aston Villa. There's a lot more signings they're going to make. It looks like they're going to sign a new centre-back too, obviously replacing Konza. So, yeah, they look like they're going to make more signings, but it's whether they can, replace the players that have left the club. And I did say, in my predictions, I thought Aston Villa wouldn't finish in the top 5 because they had a lot of players to replace. And I know how good Unai Emery is, but I feel like at some point he'll see that. Unfortunately, how it is what it is in the Premier League. The big 6 sides just get a lot of, freedom to sort of raid the other teams.
Do we think we could see Michael Carrick getting sacked, and same with Unai Emery, and then him going to Man United this season?
Maybe. I know with the patience of Man United fans, I wouldn't be surprised with anything. I don't know how Michael Carrick will play from now on. It could just be a fluke that we lost the first game and we might perform for the rest of the season, But if he wasn't to perform well, I could see him getting sacked this season because I know the patience of Man United fans is running really thin because, obviously the owners, they hire managers that aren't good enough. And then, we don't have the patience to, keep them in. Which obviously I don't think the club should just listen to the fans and everything they do, which it seems like they are doing.
Yeah.
But if we was to get Unai Emery in at any point of the season, I would absolutely love it because I feel like he's a fantastic manager. He knows how to deal with big players, and I think he's incredible. So whatever. If that scenario was to happen, I'd be happy with it, and I think he'd be able to do quite well with Man United.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Wes, thank you for the roses. Appreciate that.
And fair play to Brighton as well.
Yeah. We completely forgot about Brighton. Sorry. Yeah.
I mean, credit to Hittigler. Probably mispronounced that, but fair play. I mean, Brighton again, one of the 2 teams I mentioned, them and Brentford, best run clubs in the league in my opinion. They just know what they're doing. Yep. That's it. It's as simple as that for me. And when you got a club where it's been run perfectly from the top, it filters down. It always filters down. So if it's being run from the top right, it will be the same on the pitch.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously vice versa too, which obviously we're seeing with our clubs. Obviously, and they're not just, having good players now. They're making very big sales. Like obviously they just sold Belieber to Man United for 65 mil at the moment, obviously 70 mil overall. And they've also looking to sell Minte to Liverpool. So I think that will be around 60, 70 million too. So that's 140 million for 2 players, and they can invest that. But the thing is, it's so smart because they don't buy players for big, massive fees.
Yeah, so they always profit.
They profit, exactly. They always buy players for, decent prices, you know what I mean? Wes, thank you very much for the gifts. I really appreciate it. 100%. It's very, very good, you know what I mean? At what they do. The Man City versus Bournemouth game ended 2-1 to Man City with 2 very late goals from Man City. This is, I saw somebody say during the game, this is what champions do, even though City haven't won the league for the last 2 seasons, which I don't really know what that means.
It's a different city as well.
It's a different city, different manager, different players. What do you think?
I think it's a good win. For Maresca, there's a lot of pressure on him because having to follow in the footsteps of Pep Guardiola is not going to be easy. So it's a good thing he did get this over the line because when they were losing, I thought this was going to be very worrying for him because it's not the way you want to start Man City career. But yeah, no, obviously a lot of people question the fact that, I'm pretty sure Gahey was playing in midfield, which was, a bit not.
He wasn't too bad,
Yeah, I'm not saying whether he was good or bad. I didn't watch the game, unfortunately. I was in work. But yeah, great win. Obviously, it's a good team as well that they won against Bournemouth. It's good that they did manage to come back. That's always something you want to see with your club, whether they have that perseverance to get, come back in the game and not let, get their heads down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a big win, I think, personally, and good start to Maresca's career, I think.
I agree that it's a good win, but I did watch the game as a whole, and the performance itself from Man City was not good enough. It was really messy. I thought the players just played in such strange positions. You had Phil Foden on the right wing, which he has played before and, done very well at. Okay. But, you had obviously Mark Gahey in the midfield. You had Rico Lewis at right back. Obviously, I know he has. The thing is, I say all this, but at the start, they played a certain position and it just completely changed. Maybe it shows that it's a tactical thing and maybe you saw it wasn't working. They changed their positions, which obviously that was a good thing. But I thought Man City was all possession, not really much talk. Haaland didn't really get much of a sniff, which obviously under Pep, Haaland was the vocal point. Haaland was the man that they would keep on creating chances for. This is the first time in Haaland's Man City career he hasn't scored on the opening day. So that is something that you have to take note of. I'm really surprised that Man City didn't win by more. I know Bournemouth are a good side and they did play well. You've got to give a lot of credit to Bournemouth. And I feel bad for them for not being able to win the game. But yeah, again, resilience from Man City is very, very good, but it's concerning the way they performed. And it's a lot of teams this season because they were making a lot of mistakes. The same as United, the same as Tottenham, the same as Villa, and the same as Liverpool, who we will mention in a second. So yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go on to Liverpool. Newcastle vs Liverpool 2-2. Liverpool with a very late penalty, to save the day from Dominic Szoboszlai. But honestly, I thought Newcastle were the better team and I thought they probably deserved the result.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, Liverpool, again, I just think a lot of clubs look really rusty. A lot of clubs look like they're trying to get used to their team, like the managers, because we've got a lot of new managers, a lot. So it just seems like a lot of the managers just trying to figure out what to do with their team. And it was very evident in this game. I know there's 2 new managers in this game because it wasn't just Liverpool. The Newcastle manager was also new. And I think in my opinion, there's just as much pressure on the Newcastle manager considering what Eddie Howe did achieve and what he had to try and achieve with, not such a great team. They lost a lot of players, didn't really replace them that well either, Newcastle, but they played really well, like you said. Again, is it the fact that Newcastle played well and Liverpool didn't, or did Newcastle just I don't know. What do you think? I thought Newcastle played really well.
I agree.
I do think at times Liverpool were all right, but like you say, still a bit worrying from Liverpool. But like I say,
no, I agree. I think it is worrying from Liverpool. I think the goals they got were quality. In terms of Gakpo with a good, very, very good finish, long shot. I think Newcastle looked very dangerous. I thought they were the better team. I thought Liverpool, the way they got the penalty was, from Victor Munoz's quality and pace and him running inside the box. Lewis Hall, who had a great game the whole time,
poor kid.
Rio and Gamoa had, obviously he's young too. He's 17. So, there's no pressure on the kid, but I think Lewis Hall had his number. He had him locked up. And I think when Victor Munoz came on, he did give him a bit of a hard time, very quick, Victor Munoz. And I think Lewis Hall just got quite tired in the end because, to catch up with those quick kind of players is kind of difficult. And obviously we saw on the other side where the similar battle happened where Alanga scores from Kirkez.
Yeah.
Now, on that goal, I don't think it's Kirkez's fault per se. Yeah. Because I think it's just Alanga, and we know how quick Alanga is and how strong he is as well. I think generally, though, Alanga did have a number on him. I think he did very, very well.
Kirkez is very, very worrying for Liverpool. I think he's, because we saw last season that Van Dijk had to, what's the word I'm saying? He had to essentially do Kirkez's job as well, had to do 2 jobs at once because Kirkez just seems like he's getting done every game. It's really worrying. And in my opinion, I think they need to replace him. And you know what? Why not with an Anthony Robinson?
I don't know whether
obviously
should be replaced just yet. I think he's still. I think he's still young. I think he's still got a lot of time to grow. I wouldn't say
Maybe not get rid of him, but at least bring in someone else.
I think you need competition. That's the most important thing. Competition for places is what builds healthy relationships. It builds healthy, like I said, obviously competition, because it's competition for places, and it sort of helps people um, find the best versions of themselves. Like you look at the best teams, right? Um, in attack, right? Look at Liverpool when they did really, really well. Obviously, this is a good example. Salah, Mane, Firmino, they're all very, very, very good. But they did have players behind them that could do a job, like the likes of Shaqiri.
Yeah.
I mean, even Coutinho was there for like 6 months before he went to Barca. Do you know what I mean? A lot of players. Yeah. So, yeah, I would say that you've got to have competition for places. So I think he's not a player that is terrible or is finished by any means. He's still very, very young. But I do think he needs a bit of support on the left-hand side because I don't think he can do it all by himself.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
So I will say that. Yeah. Let's go on to the final game and the game that just finished as of recording. Fulham versus Chelsea. Chelsea get a very important away win, 3-2, and kickstart the season where they think they can really push on and be someone different.
Competitors, yeah. I think it's first of all, very exciting game, very enjoyable game, to be fair. I think both teams, played well. I think Fulham had to find their feet, at the beginning, unlike Chelsea. I think Chelsea, found their feet pretty quick. I think the only thing holding Chelsea back, goalkeeper. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious. Robert Sanchez stinks really bad. I think they need to. I think they need to replace him. I know we were talking about competition earlier. I think we're past that now. I think this we're talking about replacement now. Yeah, I think Robert Sanchez is holding Chelsea back a lot. Don't get me wrong. Does the defense also still need a bit of work? Yes. However, with the addition of Lacroix and the way Alonso set them up, I do think they've gone a bit better, at least compared to last season. But I think Robert Sanchez is still holding them back. Do you know what it is as well, which doesn't help the defense? When you know you have a keeper like Robert Sanchez in goals, it doesn't fill you with confidence. So that doesn't help either. Mm. But in terms of everything else, Chelsea look pretty good.
Yeah,
going forward, midfield looks pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. But like you say, famous quotes being said: "Attack win your games, defense win your titles." Now they won this game, but they concede 2 goals. Now, these games are games that can really, show the world why. And like you say, with the Hull and performance against Man United, they see the weaknesses and they exploit them. Yeah. A lot of teams will probably watch this game and be like, Robert Sanchez is a place we can exploit. We'll just take long shots.
Yeah.
Or, we'll bombard the defense because they can't handle it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll keep on pressing them high. So, that's things you got to worry about. He is, in a position now, Robert Sanchez, where I think he needs to be replaced 100%. There are a lot of players they can replace him with. I think we discussed the fact that maybe he should be an experienced goalkeeper. In my opinion, I think if they're going to get a goalkeeper, they should go for someone like a Jan Oblak.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a good shout.
Being around the block, has the Champions League experience. I know they're not in the Champions League this season, but has won league titles with the Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
And has been a very, very important player. I mean, if they could get Courtois back, that would be amazing for them. But obviously, I don't think he's leaving Real Madrid. There are a lot of goalkeepers they could go for. Even someone like David De Gea from Fiorentina would be a good signing for them. Yeah. Somebody with a lot of experience. So, yeah, they need to have that sorted. But, Fulham look exciting, if I'm honest with you. But they also have mistakes. And I feel like all the teams in the league, bar Arsenal, really are making loads of mistakes. Now, is that a coincidence? Is that just because it's the start of the season? I've never seen a league start where all the teams look so unprepared.
I can agree more. This has been like one of the most surprising first weeks of the Premier League I've seen in a while. You know what I mean? Like, I just expected more from some of these clubs. I get like a lot of these clubs are trying to get used to, like the managers trying to get used to the teams, new managers, new players and all that. So it does take a while sometimes to get used to that, and get the chemistry going. But I don't know. I think I was just expecting a bit more. I mean, Villa, that's not a case of that, really. It's the same manager. Yes, they've lost a lot of players. I will give them that. And Brighton are a good team, and it is away. 4-0 is not good enough. I'm sorry, you cannot concede 4 goals. I don't care if it's away, whatever the circumstances is. For a team like Villa, that is embarrassing. But as we remember last season, they did have a pretty embarrassing start to the season. I like how it ended. So maybe they have a similar.
That's exactly it. You can't judge any team season because of the first game. Man United lost 4-0 to Brentford, if you remember, a couple seasons ago.
Yeah.
And we went on to finish third in that league and win a Carabao Cup. So we had a great season. So you can't define anything from the first game. It's more building confidence in the next game and obviously seeing what signings you make from now until the transfer window being over. And that's the thing. If you don't make the right signings, obviously the earlier you make them, the more they embed and all of that. But obviously making signings is so important from now until the end of the window. So this is a good opportunity to take this on. Obviously, ideally for most of the teams, winning early on would be very, very good to get the 3 points on the board. But for the teams that didn't win, they've got to lick their wounds and go again. It's as simple as that. Like I can't. There are obviously places they've got to look at, and that's obviously why they lick their wounds. They've got to figure out what's going on, and then going into the next game, they really need to improve. And I'm mostly talking about Man United, if I'm honest with you. But a lot of teams have the same sort of problem, so they've got to do the same thing, I would say. The league season's been very difficult and insane so far. Let's go on to the championship.
Let's do my little championship roundup.
Let's go on to the championship roundup.
Match week 2. And let's just start with West Ham. When it rains, it pours, man. When it rains, it pours right now. We couldn't have been in a worse position. Millwall are first, and we are in the relegation zone. It is only 2 games in, but like I said, when it rains, it pours. And I mean, let me just start with where it's all going wrong for West Ham. In my opinion, the number one thing that is causing our downfall is the manager. I didn't want him in, to be honest. I I didn't want to keep him. I mentioned this to Carlos. I was willing to give him a chance because I said it was the championship. Maybe he should surely do a bit of a better job in the championship with the squad that we managed to keep as well. However, like I say, it's gotten worse. It's somehow gotten worse. He's not willing to change the style of play, considering the players we have. The defense is shocking. You're still playing Kilman after the whole of last season and even the beginning of this season, the last game. When you have Joel Veltman on the bench, don't want to be watching that, to be honest, Carlos.
I accidentally clicked on it. My bad.
It's all right.
How do I get out of this?
2 seconds.
1 second. You keep on talking, don't worry.
Yeah. Anyway, so going back to West Ham, I think Nuno needs to go because clearly he's just tactically inept, in my opinion. I just don't think he's the right man for the job at the moment. First of all, from the reports I hear from last season, towards the start of his tenure at West Ham, a lot of the players didn't like him, which is already a red flag. That's not what you want with your manager. You want your players to like the manager, right? So based off that alone, he should have been sacked or not kept into the championship. And now he's having an awful start. And look, not everything's always going to be his fault, right? When defenders make mistakes that have nothing to do with him, that's not on him. However, you are also deciding to play. No, okay, Kilman technically wasn't at fault for the second goal. It was Mavropanos, right? But in my opinion, I still think he's making the mistake of starting Max Kilman when we have Joel Veltman on the bench. Because I want to say, yes, we also need to sign more defenders. However, we have signed Joel Veltman, and he's just not using him. It just shows how bad of a manager he is. You have this problem. You've been given a solution to this problem, and you're still not using it. Like what? Like why? I hate when managers do this. They get these signings and they don't use them or don't use them properly. Okay, use Peru this game and Peru scores. Fair play. But my point is with the defense, even though he's a defensive manager, how is our defense so shocking? He's a defensive manager, and our worst part of the squad is the defense. Now, sometimes you cannot blame that on the manager because the players might just be awful, right? And another player we have to talk about, and it hurts me to have to talk about him, it's Ollie Scholes. It's Ollie Scholes. I love the kid, and I obviously do hope he does amazing at West Ham. But at the moment, he's making too many mistakes to have him stay in the squad. Like, I'm not saying sell him, but like Carlos is talking about, he needs competition. And at the moment, he doesn't have it, and it's a problem.
That's exactly it. I think, if you don't mind me taking over a little bit, obviously, you're the West Ham fan. You know, obviously, more than me about what's going on at West Ham. But I will say one thing. This is a general football analysis point. Ollie Skiles needs competition. He needs experience alongside him. When you have Max Kilman as the man that you have to cover for,
long day.
Not ideal at all.
Yep.
So obviously not great. You have Malik
Diouf, but if I'm being honest.
But again, he's not a defensive left back anyway, so that's not good enough. You know what? You do need to invest, I think, in a left back, and I don't know what the positions you need to invest in.
Look,
you can invest in a lot of positions.
Another centre back, another left back, but the problem, and my only thing is, we've already spent quite a lot. To be fair, whether they're and we've already made another signing of Reece Nielsen, which is great. But my point is, we need to sign more players. Are we going to do it by the end of the window? Is the question.
I think you know what it is with the Championship. You get a bit more extra time now. You get about 2 weeks more than the general transfer window.
But are West Ham willing to spend more money?
Whether they spend more or not, I think loan deals are something that you should definitely look at.
Yeah, 100%.
A lot of players that are at bigger clubs in the league in the Premier League, would definitely be willing to give loan to West Ham. Obviously, Man City already loaned a player.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if a player that I think you could do with is Harry Amas at Man United. He's a very good young left back.
Obviously, there's rumours, interest in that deal. I believe it's.
The last loan from Man United did very well, didn't he? So let's see.
Do you know what? It's just clear to see though, because I don't want to dwell on this game and West Ham. But there's a couple more points I just want to quickly make. First things first, clearly looks like we haven't adapted to the Championship whatsoever. Because you're going down you're going down the league and it's going down in what you think is quality, does not mean that you don't need to adapt. You do, because it's a different style of play. It's more physical. It's a different kind of ball game we're talking about here. And West Ham have not adapted to it whatsoever. All the other teams, of course, have been in the Championship for a while now, so they know the league off the back of their hands. You know what I'm saying? So they're all playing great. Even Burnley, for example, because it wasn't that long ago since they were in the Championship. Mm-hmm. Whereas West Ham has been such a long time that they've forgotten how to play in the Championship. And we're suffering because of that. And the last point I want to make on one player, and he's a legend. I love him, and he's our best player at the moment. But Jared Bowen as captain cannot be it. He lacks serious leadership qualities. We saw it last season. I'm seeing it again in this game. That penalty, when you're in a circumstance like that where you're losing and you get given a penalty in the last minute as the captain, as the pen taker, and you don't take it, it's for me, that's a lack of leadership and a lack of balls, if I'm being honest. Because you should take that pressure off your other players as the captain and take it, especially as if he wasn't the pen taker, I'd have been like, fair enough. But he is the pen taker. So he should be taking that pressure and taking that penalty. So that's West Ham. I mean, talking about the rest of the league, I think it's going the way we'd expect. Millwall, maybe you could argue, are hitting another level. They are first. Again, it's only 2 games, but they've gotten 2 wins, and they're looking great, to be fair to them, as much as I hate to say it.
But in the Championship, it's never easy. Even if you win the first 3 games, you could go on a losing streak of 4.
Yeah, exactly. It does. It does move really quick, the Championship, in terms of the league positions. Yeah. You know, teams move up and down very quickly in that league. And I mean, one game I'm going to have to look at and I'm worried about is obviously Southampton won 3-1, and we're playing them tomorrow. Not ideal. Not what you want to see. So yeah, we beat Portsmouth the other day. They won today, in this week. So yeah, I mean, West Ham, it's looking worrying. In my opinion, I do want Nuno sacked, but whether they do that now or wait until the international break is we yet to see. I think, okay, give him until then, but then if he is still losing and you don't sack him by then in that international break, you're looking at a very, very scary season.
Yeah, like I said West Ham should be walking the Championship, and I still believe that. Again, it is only 2 games in the season. I've seen teams really perform bad from the first couple of games and then kick into gear and then move on. Maybe a couple of games to get adjusted to the league. And I'm not saying it's good. There are loads of mistakes happening, so you need to look at that. But it is the beginning of the season, and obviously we've watched football for a couple of seasons now.
Yeah,
good few seasons. So we know that just because you have a bad start doesn't mean you have a bad end.
Yeah.
So that is where it matters. It matters when you reach March, April, and May. Yes. Not where you are in
Just 2 days.
August.
2 games. Sorry.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
August.
But obviously worrying signs. But in terms of the championship itself, yeah, just what you expect. You got teams like, obviously, like I say, Millwall smashing Norwich.
A lot of draws.
A lot of draws. Wolves looking like they've actually adapted to the championship nicely. And yeah, it just looks like West Ham are struggling. Yeah.
Burnley look like they're in a similar situation to West Ham.
Yeah, where's Burnley? Sorry,
they lost to West Brom.
Yeah,
obviously big derby as well.
Yeah. So Burnley not looking like them and nicest time of their lives, but again, only 2 games in, so you just got to wait and see what happens.
And then obviously our local team, Swansea, getting a draw against Sheffield United. I don't think that's too bad a result, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
But you probably would expect a little bit more. Their squad is looking very, very good, Swansea. So it's an exciting season ahead for them, I would say. So
Championship just looking crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's it, guys. That's our Premier League and Championship coverage. There will be the Champions League draw in the midweek, so we might mention that in the next podcast, talking about maybe the potential games that are going to happen. So very, very exciting.
Yeah.
The Premier League is back. Championship is back. Football is back. We'll see you on the next one. Please leave a like, subscribe, turn off your notification bell so you get notified when we upload videos, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.